What's up, everybody? It is June 9th. I almost said 8th. Welcome back to the Not a Pod. Today, we got a few things. I've got Gabe and myself on today's podcast. And man, we've got a couple of cool things happening in the ecom world today. I'll start us off. The first story today is Amazon AI bidding. Amazon shopping prompts have just released, meaning that they will basically start bidding on and automatically be bidding on, billable ships and ads agents. So they'll run your PPC, which sounds amazing, sounds scary. Gabe, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Amazon bidding automation with AI?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like the AI itself that I'm too worried about. I think like Amazon is just introducing another cost layer that like sellers should definitely like account for. Like I think AI is great. It saves a bunch of time, but it's like it's I don't know, you're like still trying to optimize toward the goal you give it and not necessarily what's like best for your business.
Yeah, I think on our last podcast, I was like, AI, there's two ends of the spectrum. They kind of end in the same result. You trust it way too much, or you're just not invested in AI at all. And you trust it too much, you get burned. You don't trust it at all, you get burned. And regardless, so there's a fine line in the middle, especially when it comes down to your bidding strategy. Now you're almost allowing it, you're giving it the credit card at this point, and that sounds pretty scary. So that cost layer that you referenced is real. You really got to make sure you take that into account because it can get scary fast if you're an aggressive advertiser and now you're just being more aggressive, allowing it to do its thing so you can go be aggressive somewhere else and you just let it roll. I haven't used it yet, but I know that it's something out there that could be implemented. So let's keep an eye on that one and see what happens. But anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, personally, like when I hear automation, I like automatically assume like, hey, I can let this thing roll, just like you said, and like completely step away. But I think that's like, if you do that, that's when things start to get like super expensive. So be there, watch. If you use it, yeah, watch out for it. Keep an eye on it for sure.
Yeah, good point. The next one, actually, I'm really excited about. I'm going to turn a leaf here, going from super skeptical through AI ads to finally this is happening because personally I struggle with this. Klayvio just, and I'm interested on how people say it, Klayvio or Klayvio. I say Klayvio. Klayvio just
Same.
released Composer. Composer is an AI campaign generator using natural language, which is a silly word, natural language. Why do we say it like that? Is a basically we'll put together a email sequence for a particular campaign, from retargeting your audiences, building out the copy, building out maybe the assets, or at least filler images for the assets so you can have a good idea based on probably templates that you built into Klayvio, all the way from A to Z, everything in between, frequency, which drip campaigns you want to do, which audience segmentations you want to implement. And I struggle with this so much. So I would be the guy that leans more towards I'm going to trust this all the way through and I'll go in and tweak it as we go. But because this is one of those things where I just don't even want to think about building an ad email campaigns like this. That's where I love spreadsheets, and this is quite the opposite of a spreadsheet. And this is very much more of that meticulous work that I think that I would use Composer a lot. We use a bunch of different email providers, Klaviyo being one of them. But if this is going to make me use Klaviyo more, I might have to switch a few things over to Klaviyo altogether. So yeah, Gabe, what are your thoughts on Composer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to the trend that we've been seeing everywhere. The execution is just getting automated. I think like I don't know, the real value of this is like shifting towards strategy and like data and decision making. And so like yeah, less time building these campaigns and making sure like the inputs are right. Like I don't know, like it can write the email, but can it like fix bad data or like a weak offer? I don't know. Like
It's a good point.
you
There's
seem
too
super
much
excited
trusting.
about it. Yeah, I'm the curious minded one. I just want to see how everything plays out.
Yeah, I mean, if it's making up offers for you, that might be a problem. If it's giving away the farm for you because you've done that most recently, that could be a problem. So
Right.
definitely still a lot of like high touch, making sure that the campaign calendars are being followed. So your initial natural language prompt probably needs to be dialed in. Probably need to make
Okay.
sure that
Yeah.
that's still dialed in for sure. Cool. Here's a question. Before I move on to story three, what is what's an AI tool that you don't have that you want to have? You know, because we've been building out tools like crazy at Anata. Like we've almost been replacing every single SaaS that we have in our tech stack with Anata. I was looking at all like our cute little Anata branded icons of all of the tools we have, and put them all in our list of tabs. I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy how much we've been using and replacing these tools. What's something out there, and it doesn't have to be related to work, even like personally. You just got FSD for your Tesla, right? That's kind of
Mm.
like AI driving in a way. That's also pretty scary. Can't trust that more. But what can you think of as a tool that you would like to be AI driven and as a workflow?
Oh, I feel like there's so much. Um, I don't know, David. I'm kind of getting to this point in life where I really like having a clean house, but with having like a ton of family members there, it's like I constantly have to clean every single day, and sometimes you just get tired. So
That's a good
I
one.
don't. This probably doesn't work at all. You'd probably need a robot or something, honestly. But like just something that could clean the house. I don't know. That's kind of a ridiculous answer, to be honest with you. What do you
You-
think?
You're talking about a Tesla robot now. You're talking
Right?
about,
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I'm trying to think
Optimus.
of like, yeah. I don't know what else. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Um, I'll jump in then. One thing, a side note that I've been trying to figure out with AI, it's not work related at all, but AI, what I needed to solve is decision making. When I get stuck and trying to make a decision, and you're not going to understand this for a few years because you're still single, but once you get married, you'll understand this. But we sit down at
Yeah.
night and I got the laptop and I'm working, and then the question always gets asked, what do you want to watch? And then we spend a half hour on Netflix, on Prime Video, just trying to find it. And next minute, I got to go to bed anyways. I just need AI to decide what I need to watch. I need to just go AI select and it just throws it on. Pick up where you left off. I have 6 shows being halfway watched and I don't even know which ones they are anymore. I need AI to make that decision for me now. I just click a button, boom, watch this. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good one. I'm just gonna start watching it. I don't have a choice anymore. It's good. That's what I really need in my life next. That's what happened to me last night. That's why I bring it up.
That's that's awesome. Hey, to the viewers that are actually watching, um, David and I are brothers. So I was just about to say something that was gonna say or have me say mom. So yeah, just for a reference. Yeah. So David, I mean, mom even texted me last night, and she was like, "Oh, I was looking on Amazon looking for this specific thing," and then with the new like Alexa feature, it was able to just like pinpoint exactly what she wanted,
What that
and she
was.
bought it. And so
Wow, that's
I
pretty
think they need
crazy.
something like that for like the Apple
Yeah.
TV or something.
Yeah, no, that's coming out. Yesterday was WWDC.
Hmm.
Apple re-released Apple AI, Apple
Hmm.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
It's actually intelligent now. I don't know if I ever used Apple Intelligence before and was wowed, but now
Right.
it is smart because it uses Gemini. And so hopefully that's coming to Apple TV. It says it will come to Apple TV and your AirPods and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. I think
Yeah.
your wish is going to
Super
come
exciting.
true here shortly. Yeah. Now we digress. Let's go to story three. Today's the day. We're probably supposed to shoot this pod yesterday, but Amazon extends Prime Day discount deadlines to today, the 9th. So we better hurry up and edit this and whip it out before the end of the day so the viewers can
Sure.
watch it. which is like interesting to me. They extended the deadlines. One, you think, oh, that's great. Two, you're also thinking like, man, people probably aren't pushing deals as much this Prime Day to get it ready, so they wanted to extend it to get people to get to lower it. Now, the data source that I got for this one is that most people are standardizing them at a 20%, and they're not getting those high rates at like 30% discounts anymore. Probably because we broke, man. Like
Yeah.
ecom is margins are thin right
Yeah.
now, and so what are you gonna do? They need to incentivize something. Extending the deadline, probably not so much, but this is like tinfoil hat on for me. I'm thinking, man, they probably don't have great deals on Prime Day. So if you're a shopper for Prime Day, let's see it. Did you see good deals on the 23rd through 26th, or are you seeing some mediocre ones? I'm really interested to see the results from this Prime Day because ourselves we're pretty much standardized. We're trying to be lean, trying to focus on high margin products, trying to make sure that we're implementing this into overall summer strategy. But it's difficult. So,
Yeah.
anyways, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, sort of what I was thinking is just because you're eligible for the deal doesn't mean your deal is actually be going to be compelling. And so I think that's the part that people need to check today. So for sure.
Cool. And we kind of glazed over it, so we're gonna use this as our headline story
Yes.
right now. But just Amazon AI bidding overall. We didn't really talk about it, but what are some common mistakes that our ourselves and others, other brands, other brand owners are going to be coming across, like or going to be making when it comes to utilizing Amazon's AI for their advertising strategy? And I'd like to caveat that first by saying, like, we've had automation before. As Amazon sellers, we all know that there are automatic bid adjustments, day parting
Right.
tools, all of these things. And we're in the middle of developing our own right now. So all of this knowledge and intelligence coming out of AI is going to be super helpful for us to develop our own integrated Amazon advertising portal, like software, I should say, that basically goes in and helps us manage these without it losing control. Some of our companies are really aggressive. Some of our companies are really lax. How do we change our mindsets? Because us as advertisers going from brand to brand, making these implementations, but going from a very conservative brand to a very aggressive brand, we kind of bring that conservativeness over to the aggressiveness. One thing I'm excited for automation, with still being a little skeptical, our AI input is going to be, leaving the conservatives at the door when you're trying to be aggressive, and vice versa, of course, so that you can make the right decisions, driving the client's results the right way. What are your thoughts? What are some of those mistakes, and what are you excited for?
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to what I said at the beginning of this podcast is like when we hear automation, I think we just like, hey, we set it and forget it. And that is a huge mistake. I think, and I want to talk to you about this too, is like when should brands trust the automation? And then when should they keep their hands on the wheel? Um, because truthfully, like, I just don't know.
Hmm.
And
No.
yeah, and like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're the expert on this. So I'd love to just pick your brain a little bit in this pod.
Yeah. So I think of things of at a scale, right? We're trying to just be as central as possible, and central means our goal. So let's just
Okay.
say that our goal is to hit a 15% acquisition cost, tacos, total acquisition cost. Let's just say the further we are from hitting that goal, the more input us as users need to be. And so when we're able to hit those goals, as well as like you can hit your acquisition target, but if you're not growing, you're not growing. So let's just say like I'm going to give myself a threshold between 15 and 20% total acquisition cost, which is a 5 point difference. And I can see how that is pretty large for some people. But I will give myself that delta basically to say, hey, look, if the closer we are to maintaining that goal, the more I'm actually going to let AI drive it. But I'm always watching our KPIs. I'm always watching, making sure like we're hitting those targets. The further away we get from this 25, 30, which is ridiculous, we're losing money at that point. I need to go in and start making these changes. And in a way, I treat AI as an employee, right?
Okay.
What are
Yeah.
you going to do? Push the employee aside and say, move aside, you suck, let me go in and do it? Right? No, you got to train that employee. You got to make sure they understand what's working, what's not working. And so if you're just treating it like, a robot and get away, you're losing out on opportunity for it to learn. Right. And I'm
Okay.
hoping that the Amazon AI is something similar to that. Whereas, if they're the other direction and you're not spending, you got to like encourage that employee to, hey, look, we need to start spending. These are high margin products, which we need to be focused on. They can drive a lot of volume, or the scale is there. Let's spend. Here's how I would spend. Here's what I need to do. Watch me do it versus get out of the way. Let me do it.
Okay. Well, as you were saying that, another kind of question just formed in my mind. But let's just say like if you're a smaller brand, maybe doing like 20 grand a month or less in like ad spend, is this something that you should actually like be paying attention to right now, or is it like a little bit just too early still?
Yeah, that's a good point. Immediately you're thinking like, nah, man, you guys got to be grinding. You need to be involved. Um, I would just say like for smaller brands, my delta variance range of stepping in just shortens a little bit, right? I
Okay.
need to be within 1 point instead of 5 points before I really start stepping in. And if you have the margin, let's say like as a small brand, I'm hoping your margins are allowing you to be as aggressive as possible within advertising. So let's say your 18-20% is your goal and you're at 15%, which is still fantastic. Hey, like give that extra 5% to AI to start learning with, right? To help you get to that. So like, hey, AI, this is my budget. I need you to you're hitting 15,000. I need to be at 20,000. I need you to spend $5,000 and have it work within a sandbox almost to get you there. Compare its results with your own results and then slowly have it start taking over some of those other campaigns. That's if I was a smaller brand, I wouldn't just be on the other spectrum saying, I'm not going to give up my budget. Start training it, let it learn, give it the delta that you want. Now if you're over that, you need to hone back in. Well, give it the more conservative goal of honing it back in, or hit your goals and then allow it to start taking over. That's what I would suggest for smaller brands.
Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, you gave out just a bunch of good points here. And I kind of want you to like maybe from like least to greatest, or how am I trying to say this? I don't know, just give out your bullet points for like where do you think AI genuinely like outperforms humans today? And where do you still want like a real person making the decisions?
Yeah. I feel like this is the perfect like story of the tortoise and the hare.
Okay.
AI is the hare. Humans, us, are the tortoise at this point. And if you just let AI go running, it will run fast, it will run hard, it will run for like stamina wise, it will go forever, longer than we can ever go. And then you blink an eye and you're 20 degrees off course. And to come back, all that energy is wasted, time is wasted to come back on course. Whereas the tortoise, we kind of know we make these 1 degree changes every day. We overthink things, but we're usually headed in a good direction consistently. Now we can veer off course as humans do. Usually are able to come back on. Faster humans that are merely aggressive are closer to that hare, but never as fast, right? So depending on who you are, I would say like the things that AI does well, it does speed well, it does coverage well, it does like all of these things that you're trying to manually do. Even with certain softwares now, you still got to go in and make sure that things are going. They could create resources for you, reports, it could do these things fast. Otherwise, like it can go off direction real quick, right? When you're moving that fast and you start hallucinating and you start thinking this needs to be the course without user input, that's where it goes wrong for you. So
Okay.
in advertising, like we're all scared to give the credit card over to your AI to start purchasing things. This is it. You are giving it the credit card. You are allowing it to touch the bank account. So you need to make sure that you're aware and careful with it moving forward.
Cool. Well, let's say, and this is kind of like my last point, David. If somebody finishes this episode and takes just one action this week, I guess it. Prime Day is coming up. So before Prime Day,
Mhm.
but today's the deadline. What would you tell them to do?
Set your targets. Set your pre-Prime Day targets, during Prime Day targets, post-Prime Day targets, and then your baseline, right? Now, maybe your post-Prime Day targets is your baseline. Maybe your pre-Prime Day targets is your baseline. But those components need to be set. Why are they set? So, for instance, what we try to do is we try to like set our baseline 2, 3 weeks beforehand. Usually, once they start announcing Prime Day, we see sessions maintain and we see conversion drop a little bit. We see a little bit more window shoppers. So how is your advertising reflecting that? Are you willing to take the hit during those time periods so that you can get people into the funnel? And so when they are shopping during your prime discount, they remember you. Are you rememberable? That's a question. And then making sure that you hit those targets. So we try to maintain usually a higher acquisition cost of sale pre-Prime Day just because we're prepping for it. And then some brands right before Prime Day, that week prior, we are doing null. We are doing limited, nothing. Like we're so low. And then right after that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be blowing it up. Just we're just putting all that missed budget from the week prior during Prime Day and a little bit more because they're usually our ROASs are the highest they're going to be all year. For the shortest period of time, though, usually Q4 still beats that. And then after, how are you going to recover? Make sure you're bidding down again, making sure you're not wasting any spent, right? And so we need to make sure that those KPIs are set. Ideally, when you talk about this time frame, though, you're allowing for AI to help you with those things, right? So set those targets within those time periods. Make sure you're following up with them at the right time as well. So that's one big thing to do, but you got to make sure you do it.
Yeah. Sorry, and just to follow up, and then I promise I'm done here. But you just mentioned at the very end, I was trying to like tie it in somehow. But how are you, for some of our accounts that we look over, how are you going to use AI to make it more seamless, make that process a lot smoother?
Yeah, I'm already the hair as well. So I have to be very, very conservative when it comes down to how fast I want to move, right? Because Amazon's ads move fast and then they move slow, so they're very adjustable. We got to be very careful. We recognize that when you run an advertising campaign for a certain objective, it could take a couple weeks for it to bite. You just launched a brand new client this week on ads, and did it spend anything? Like, no, it didn't spend anything. So for us, how I'm going to be utilizing advertising on Amazon is dependent on the client, but very carefully. Like I said, I'm already, I feel and I try to be a force multiplier. With a force multiplier like AI is scary. So I have to dial it down. I have to be very, very careful because that's where mistakes can happen. But who knows? Maybe it's a good mistake. Maybe it blows up. Maybe we're like able to cover a lot. So we don't want to deter ourselves too much, but we do need to learn. We do need to move fast. I met so many interesting people in the last month that on how they use AI that have been mind-boggling. No, honestly, it's just been super crazy. So that's how we'll be managing AI within the system. We will continuously be working on just tools for the company. And I would love everybody's thoughts on AI movie night. Okay. So just letting you know that's been top of mind for, last 18 hours or so. So,
Nice.
yeah, we'll figure that one out down the road, but yeah, that's a good one. And I kind of kicked the episode off. So Gabe, you got anything else?
No, yeah, I think everything you said, well said. That was great. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me. I do think, hey, a lot of things are getting automated. But for the brands that figure out how to balance these things are definitely the ones that are going to win. And so I think
Yes.
that's a good note to end on. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening, and we will definitely catch you guys on the next episode.